These strong winds, in some cases measured over 80 miles per hour, or indicated to have been measured at over 80 miles per hour, and then confirmed at least 60, 70 miles per hour on Cape Cod. Storm Team 5 now saying that there is at least one confirmed tornado, or one has been confirmed in the South Yarmouth, West Dennis area, and then it moved across toward Harwich, and you can see now it's in Chatham. Our own Sarah Kanji has been in Harwich this whole time, and so Sarah, what have you witnessed there?
Hi, Erica. Yes, we're here at a mobile gas station on Pleasant Lake Avenue. I'm here with about a dozen people, including the workers at this gas station and store. We're all sheltering after hearing all these tornado warnings going off. Very intense winds and rain, although it seems to have cut down on that a little bit. But ironically, we were here ready to do a report for the new news about the storm that hit last night. It's unclear if that was a tornado, but there was a lot of damage in a small section of the town of Harwich, trees down, that sort of thing. No one was injured, but about 15 minutes before the noon newscast, we had to bail because the tornado warning then stretched across Harwich yet again, a repeat of what happened last night. So a lot of people here with us in the gas station. The store lost power. So everyone here just trying to stay calm. The folks at the Dunkin' Donuts counter were kind enough to give everyone some coffee. And so we're waiting to see how the storm plays out, to see if another, whether it was a tornado or microburst, whatever came through last night, if it's another repeat performance here this afternoon. So many of us staying away from the windows. There are a couple of kids here, which trying to stay calm for them so they don't get too concerned or scared. And we'll keep you posted how things go here.
Absolutely. Well, Sarah, you should know that the worst part of the storm has passed you at this point, but the concern is what it has left in its wake. What had you seen already today from the storm overnight?
Well, there were some pretty big trees that were uprooted and miraculously did not damage a home near Park Street. We saw a tree down on a car that did some damage to a windshield and a hood, and other smaller trees and limbs and branches strewn all across the road. The town did a great job of removing all the big limbs that were blocking roads and blocking access. And already, again, by 11:30, some of the tree crews had already removed the larger trees that had come down. I talked with the fire chief, and he said that last night they ran about 20 calls in about an hour, a very short amount of time. That the storm last night took everyone by surprise, and they just had to, it came through very quickly, but left a lot of damage. And there were some fires, some, the wires coming down, starting some tree fires as well. But again, nobody was injured. So there was a lot of damage, but everyone this morning was very relieved that there wasn't, no one was hurt. So now, hopefully, this same thing has happened here, and that maybe a little bit of damage, but it does definitely look like it's dying down outside. So it's good news to hear that this, whatever it is out of the way here of Harwich.
Yeah, it has since moved toward Chatham. Thank you for checking in with us, Sarah, and I'm glad everyone is inside there, exactly where they should be. The image you just were looking at on your screen is actually from Osterville, and that was from today. So again, it's pretty incredible that there was a tornado warning just last night, and here we go again, if not worse than last night, Cindy. At this point, moving now more toward the outer Cape, but you can see that tree just completely in half in Osterville.
A lot of damage, Erica. And I will tell you that this tornado warning has until 12:45 before it expires, but the actual rotation that we're seeing is getting ready to shift offshore, which is wonderful news here. Around the Chatham area, stretching up toward Eastham, still very heavy rain, but where we had the confirmed tornado in South Yarmouth, the sun is out now. So these storms are racing very quickly across the Cape, and they will be offshore very soon. But the damage left behind, incredible. Getting reports now of more than 10,000 power outages on the Cape. The Yarmouth Fire Department is reporting Route 28 is impassable due to tree damage. So a lot of trees came down as that tornado moved on through, and getting reports of roof damage on West Yarmouth Road. And these are likely just the beginning of the damage reports that we are going to find once these storms completely exit and everybody is clear to kind of head outside. So let's continue to look and see where we have that rotation. It is right here, this area, that we've had the strongest winds on our velocity scan. Maybe we can query on the intensity of these winds, because as we were doing that earlier, we did measure through a radar wind gusts potentially at 89 miles per hour, and we did get a report of that 90 mile per hour gust in Calmus, and it still looks as though we have winds potentially over 70 mile per hour in terms of gusts, but look at where they're shifting now, just offshore, and I would suspect within the next scan, the worst of the wind is going to be out in the waters. Certainly a concern for mariners, and there are plenty of them here offshore of Chatham, but as far as land areas, it looks as though this is going to be pushing out fairly quickly, likely before this is set to expire. Farther to the north, we are seeing still some wind and still some rain. I wonder what we got for lightning right now, because there was quite a bit of lightning earlier. That seems to be pulsing down, as you can see a little bit. We're still getting some lightning strikes here, primarily in Cape Cod Bay, but you're likely hearing the thunder, seeing the lightning around Wellfleet and Truro and down toward Orleans. So the outermost Cape is where we have the last of this storm cell. Want to widen out the view a little bit farther, because if you have tuned in to watch the noon broadcast, we've been in continuous coverage for this tornado since just after about 11 o'clock this morning. And the rest of the area had some tremendous rainfall, and the rain has been producing flooding in many areas as well. But let's widen out the view more just to kind of show everybody the situation in terms of Massachusetts and where we are with the rain. And it looks as though this is it. As this cluster moves on out, we're going to be drying things out the rest of the afternoon, and the storm threat will be over, not just for the day, but for the rest of the week.
Yeah,
so
Cindy, we just got a call actually from Yarmouth. Sorry to jump on you here, but the sun is actually out in parts of South Yarmouth. The caller that called in said they were on generator power, and a lot of their neighbors are. And I just checked with our assignment desk. Mashpee seems to be the hardest hit right now. A little bit greater than 20% of the town is without power right now.
Yeah, more than 10,000 at last check across the Cape, and I suspect that number will only go up here as we can start to assess the damage a little bit. But the good news that we have to pass along, and you can clearly see how this has made its way from the mid-Cape to the outer Cape, it is getting ready to move offshore, and that is certainly a good thing. Let's take you in, though, tight to the outer Cape and show you the communities that are still kind of under the gun right now with this. And Chatham, you're seeing the rain starting to let up a little bit here for you. It is primarily north now, up toward Eastham and Orleans and Wellfleet, and even up into Truro. Looks as though we've been in on some of the heavier rain as well, but you can see even the back edge of that is racing eastward pretty quickly. So the worst of the rain coming to an end, the worst of the wind coming to an end, and thankfully this tornado threat seems to be shifting offshore at this point, but we are still technically under that tornado warning until 12:45. We will let you know as soon as it is let go. Erica?
Yeah, Cindy, this storm, unlike one folks who are on the Cape have seen before. On the phone with us now is Dean Meehan, the brother of our own Doug Meehan. So, Dean, thanks for calling in. I know you've been in East Dennis at the Northside Marina, and you say in all of your years you haven't seen a cell like this.
Not like this. It came in gangbusters. It was like a wall. I can't even explain it. It was fine. It got dark, and we saw all the warnings, but nothing really seemed to be materializing. And watching the radar, it didn't look like it was going to be that bad, and it was just unbelievable. You couldn't even see 40 feet with the rain coming down sideways in the wind.
As you're talking, we're looking at video from South Yarmouth, and that's where the National Weather Service did confirm a tornado did in fact touch down. So as the name of the marina would indicate, you are on the north side there of the Cape, and it was the south side that saw all of the rotation. But you say incredible to see. So at that point, did you head inside? What did everyone do?
Oh, we just kind of hunkered down and watched out the windows. I was looking out the north side of the building, and the wind was blowing the rain right through the door. Wow.
So at this point, how long have you been there? On the Cape all your life?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Almost 50 years.
Almost 50 years and nothing like this. So it just came suddenly. And tell me about how quickly it moved. At this point, we know we're looking at video from the town where the National Weather Service, South Yarmouth, did confirm a tornado touchdown. It's now sunny in South Yarmouth. This was a quick moving storm.
It was unbelievable. The sun is out now. The wind, I don't know what the velocity was when it was at its peak, but it was cranking. And it's sunny now, the rain's over, and the wind's back down to, probably 15.
Wow, so any damage where you are?
No, that's the thing. We were just walking around outside, and I can't believe that there's not damage. But it was so quick that it went through. It seems like if you have 3 days of 40 miles an hour, it does a lot more damage than an hour of 70. So it didn't have time to build seas or anything like that.
Wow, and now back down to 15, a quiet day on a boat. Really incredible. Dean, thank you so much for calling in. Glad that you guys are safe and there was no damage up there on at least the north